One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We have got films going everywhere, so you'll be alright, won't you?
Tim, have you done the suspension on this?
Sag?
No, like the clippers and that put back there it was when we did it last time.
No, I can do. This has got a different shock on, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. How long have we got, Chris? So it's just got a little bit of silence. Well, I won quite a lot on the mini bikes on the 85cc's, and then went up onto the 250s in 2006 for a Honda team, Par Honda, and finished out quite a good year there. And then I moved to America for like 4 years, and had some good success over there. Had some top fives and some supercross, and you know, a few things like that. So it was good. And then I got an opportunity to come back here with Maxi Serpico, Hooper Suzuki, and show my face again. I want to win. You know, I'll do whatever it takes to win, and I think I got the skill and I got the bikes and everything, and it should be a good season.
We've been running a motocross team of our own since 1991. It's a full-time business. We find sponsorship, look after our sponsors, we get the bikes, the mechanics, riders, bring everything together, you know, and we put a lot of time and effort into making the team happen. It takes a lot. You know, basically our time is full of, say, looking after sponsors, making sure that the team has everything it needs to go racing. We have to make sure we've got the spare parts, both Suzuki parts and sponsors parts. Everything for the riders, we look after the entries, certainly for Stephen. You know, because we're only a relatively small team, you know, we have to put a lot of work into it. I get involved on working on the bikes. I tend to do the engines, on servicing. So yeah, there's a lot of work involved. I get a lot of satisfaction from seeing our bikes do well on a Sunday. Yes, as a rider, you know, you had the thrill of actually riding, and obviously you revelled in success if that happened, and you went home with a long face if you had a bad day. And it's similar in the position we're in now, you know. If we have a good day, I go home with a smile on my face. If we have a bad day, a little bit glum.
Up to 8 passes
Basically, went out there, looked pretty good out there, and we were in 8th place early on. So when the Super Bowl comes, Steve normally gets better, but for some reason today we've kind of dropped down a few places. So at the end of Super Bowl now we're qualified in 11th. So obviously that gives us 11th pick of the gate, which is an ideal place to where we want to be. So we've had a couple of looks now, and I think we're probably going to start to the far left of the gate. So if we get bogged in, hopefully we can go right round the outside of them, like.
Today's usually a pretty hectic day, so we've gone through qualifying already. After qualifying, we get about 2 hours, which sounds a long time, but you know, jet washing the bike, cleaning the bike is going to take you half an hour. Then the bike comes in, we need to get air filter in it, possible tyre change, and then we go through the whole bike, every nut and bolt, and any item that could possibly come loose or fall off or whatever, you want to make sure that that's tight. Prevention's better than cure, basically. So it's just a case of, and again, when you're cleaning the bike, you're visually looking at it. So everything on the bike wants to be absolutely spot on. You know, the last thing as a mechanic you would ever want is for your rider to come in with something that has failed because of something you didn't do. You know, the bike gets a real pounding when it's out there. You know, these guys don't hang around, so everything is pushed to its limit. So what we're doing is just basically running through every nut and bolt on the bike to make sure nothing is vibrating loose. Spokes, we need to check that no spokes are coming loose. Make sure that nothing is rubbing or wearing, coolant hoses, etc., brake hoses. In fact, we had a problem with a front brake hose in qualifying, so we've had to swap the front brake over. Have a look at the tyres, check the tyre pressures, make sure we haven't picked up we run tubes as opposed to mousses at the moment. So we need to make sure that we haven't picked up a slow puncture, because the last thing you want, go down to qualifying and find you've got a flat. So again, you know, you're checking tyre pressures, new air filter, fill the bike with fuel, top off the coolant, because you would always lose a little bit of coolant. And hopefully, you know, if you go through that procedure, you're going to have a pretty steady day. The other thing is, obviously, you've got to let a rider can have a crash. Some crashes, they topple over, they might twist a lever. Other crashes, they can rip a radiator off an exhaust. So you can never tell how busy you're going to be through the day. But British Championship format, 3 races, it is pretty tight.
Oh, it's a bit hard to leave your parents when they're normally the ones that clean your gear or make your lunch, and it's a bit harder to get used to that. But riding over here is quite fun and quite competitive, so it's good. Oh, the talent over here is really strong compared to back home, and I mean, the top 10, top 15 over here is quite strong riders, and I find it quite tough, even definitely coming halfway through the season. It's been real hard, but I've slowly gotten used to it. And
basically started off racing when I was 6, and just basically went through the schoolboy ranks, and then when I got to 17, I went to America for a couple of years. Did Loretta Lynn's out there in 2002, and then the next year I joined Rob's team in 03 to go British Championship on the 125, and I was with him for 6 years then, and here I am. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with my right arm. It just got worse every year from about 04 or 05. Just kind of stuck at it, was having treatment left, right and centre, and then finally I think it was 09, it just got sort of almost unbearable, and even when I was practicing I was getting in trouble with it. So I had the operation for it at the end of 09. Had the whole, pretty much the whole of 09 off, and yeah, had it done at the end of 09. Went to come back in beginning of last year, 2010, and still, you know, getting real bad problems with it. So spent, like, you know, the whole of last year trying to get it sorted again, and eventually 4 weeks ago had the operation again to try and fix it. And you know, it's still early days yet, but hopefully you know, a couple more weeks, in a month or so, I think it would be good.
Basically, he's been out a few times on the bike. He's only come back for an operation from arm pump, which was like last month. So he's only actually been on the bike about 4 or 5 times, to be truthful. So he just set the suspension up on how he wants it. Just sort of went from there, really. The engine, we hadn't done much to it, really. Just a few bits and bobs, really. Of course, we didn't really know what had happened today, so you know, first time on a 450 for a long time for him. So.
Start was okay. I believe he had a bit of trouble at the start gate, but he got out the gate fine. Was 4th around the first lap. Had a little bit of trouble seems to be settling into his pace. But he's now in 6th. Hopefully he can stay at least there or better by the end of the race.
Fourth place on the first lap round. He seems to have lost a little bit of his pace at the moment. He's lost contact with the ones in front with Neville and Jake and all that lot, but the ones behind now are starting to close up on him. So just trying to get him to lift his pace a little bit. Luckily we're about 3/4 race distance now, so still we can sort it out. Oh, he's push it, Steve.
Clutch is gone.
Got a thingy on, mate.
I can edit that bit out.
Just slipping. Couldn't let it, hadn't got enough drive out of it to lift the front end up. So he was in 9th in the beginning. He had quite a good start, and then he fell off by the sounds of it and got rope wrapped around his back wheel, so he had to get the rope out before he could get back on. And now I'm not sure what position he's in at all now.
I just noticed your rope relax on your board. Is that because he's riding it ragged, or just to make it?
I think it's just to try and make him feel a bit comfortable, really, just in case. Obviously he's out of breath, he's just crashed, just get himself thinking back to riding.
I can understand you being frustrated. What did you fall off it or stall it or what?
Fell off it. Came caught on the ropes. I just like trying to pick the bike over the ropes, and it was just an absolute mission.
But just looking at you from the edge, like I say, it's either the front wheel tucking on you or the back wheel was sliding out. It's just like if you was trying to go 5 miles an hour quick around every corner.
It's me not riding right. It's me not riding right though. I'm riding too forward. I'm not. It's like I'm not in an attack position on the bike. I'm just kind of like that, and the back does what it wants to do. And
well, that'll come back, won't it? It'll come back.
It's a second ride, mate.
Don't be hard on yourself.
Just let him calm down a bit and then have a bit of a chat later on with him. Just see actually why he crashed and sort of go through in that. Yeah, Rob's just sort of talking him through the race really, on the good points and the bad points.
MX2 race, Stephen made a decent start, 4th first lap, slipped back to 6th, but rode it out, you know, was a reasonable result. Kane had his best ride of the year by far, finished 9th, looked very confident, you know, very involved in the race and on the pace, so MX2, you know, to have both riders in the top 10 was a reasonable result. I think we have to make sure we don't expect too much of Lewis. For somebody who's not raced, well, he's done 1 race this year on an MX2 bike at Fox Hill, but basically we're looking at a rider who's not raced competitively in 2 seasons to come to Hawks and say, you know, acknowledge really, really tough track. The pace at the front with the first 4 guys was really quick. Lewis was acquitting himself well, you know, he was sort of in touch with 6th. But looking from the outside, it looked to me like Lewis was maybe out of practice of riding a race. He was pushing too hard and it looked like he used a lot of energy, making a lot of little mistakes, not big mistakes, but little mistakes, all of which would be draining him and be making it feel very difficult. He wasn't happy at all. He said he felt terrible on the bike. I mean, Lewis never makes excuses. And any poor result, he's the first to blame himself for it. And he's bitterly disappointed with what he's done. Me, I think that there's an awful lot of promise there. But you have to put everything in perspective as to how the riders he's racing with race every week at this level. Lewis is trying to come in at their level. We know he's done it in the past, but when you've been away for so long, and just that shoulder-to-shoulder racing, it's just so much different to practicing, and it's going to take him a little while to get back used to that. Lewis wants to come in here, prove to everybody that there's one of the top riders has been missing for 2 years, but you can't do 2 years worth of racing in one afternoon. We've got to go slowly really with it, and he's got another 2 races, and I think if Lewis was to be 10% less effort, he'd be 10% quicker.
Well, coming in, I had quite high expectations of myself, and I got a little bit of a shock, to be honest, in the first race after coming over, but I've dealt with it slowly and worked on all my mental and physical, everything to help me to do better, and it's paid off in the long run. Well, qualifying was good for me. I ended up 20th, I think, but the track was real smooth and real fast. And race one went well. I got a good start, and I think I finished up in 9th. I think it was something about 9th or 8th or 9th, something, which was real good for me. I was just aiming for 3-pointed races, and I got 8th or 8th or 9th, and I was stoked with that.
So relax for the next one. You know you can do it now. All about self-belief, yeah? So we're going to go out there, nice and relaxed, breathe, okay? I'll give you the halfway, okay? We need to nail that start again. Exactly the same as the last race. You've got the pace, okay? The bike's working well. Let's do yourself proud, and everybody else.
this race. We're up there, we're just trying to close back onto Mel Pocock now. There's about a second, Steve's probably a second a lap quicker with his quickest lap time, but he's just lost a couple of seconds a lap. So he must have made a mistake over the back. So hopefully we can get onto Mel and hopefully get into a 5th place position.
What's happened with Kane in this one?
Kane's got an issue with the front brake. Not 100% too sure. I had a quick look over there, but Gary's mechanic's looking at it. Gaz decided to pull him out of the race.
I've grown up every weekend near enough, racing week in, week out. And then all of a sudden, you kind of gets taken away from you, and you kind of think, what do I do now? It's just really strange being at home on a Sunday. It just feels wrong. So yeah, I did get to a point where I thought, I'm gonna have to have like a bit of a B plan. So I did like a personal training course, got qualified in that just to, as a bit of a backup, and then sort of got the opportunity to have this operation again, and thought I'd give it another shot. Haven't had much time to prepare for today, but thought I'd give it a go and see where we go from here.
He had a good start. He's dropping a few places now. He's about 10th for the start. He's about 12th now. I don't know whether he's getting tired or nothing. The track's quite hard and demanding today, so I think he's getting a bit tired.
Do you think this will give his confidence better now after the first race?
I think if he gets the first race out of the way, in the second race, this whole meeting, and then I think it'll go from there then.
I try to come in with an open mind, really. I mean, I'm kind of my own worst enemy a little bit. I expect a lot of myself and maybe expected a little bit too much today. I mean, qualifying wasn't too bad, but it's only one lap, yeah, sort of first race, went into it just open mind, try to get a good start and just try my best for for every lap. Try to minimise the mistakes, but that didn't really happen in the first one, unfortunately. But and then just try and get through the day, really.
Hawkston is renowned as being a difficult circuit, so it's going to be a long day for Lewis. 3 races, with not having raced really a full day's racing in over 2 years. But we just want to see flashes of what he's capable of. That's what we're looking for.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I started the year off with an injury. I tore the ligaments in my ankle, so it took a bit of time getting over that. But then I think the last 3 or 4 months I've really found my stride and been putting in some good results. And just try and finish the year off strong. Got one more race now, and then as soon as that gate drops, your mind just clicks automatically when once you've been doing it for as long as we have, and because it's your job. At the end of the day, and there's nothing more to it. You've got to give it 110% every time you get on the bike.
awesome. Excuse me, he's in a really tight battle at the minute with Jordan Booker for 6th and 7th place, riding absolutely out of his skin. What we should have seen all year. Really, really stoked for him. So 2 laps and we should be having a beer.
Not looking very good at the moment. The gate failed to drop on him, so he hit the gate. So he was virtually dead last. He got back through to 24th, then up to 19th. He's got up to 12th, and then he's fell off, made 2 little mistakes on the bend whilst in 12th. So all the process he made, like he's lost it now. So that's it.
I tried a different line. Look, there goes the nuts on the tank again. Feels like it's a massive blister as well.
Man, you were like something else. Absolutely something else.
When you passed him up that hill, it was crazy.
Yeah,
you made him go so wide.
Jeez. That's what we needed all year. Way to go home though, Kana. Way to go home. Like, just...
In this corner where I was?
Absolutely. I could not believe it. When Morris, commentator, his voice went up in the air, oh, and Kane Lamont, and I thought, oh, you've gone by George, you know? Then look round and there you are on the deck.
You was catching back up to him as well.
12th.
Yeah.
You ended up 12th.
Keith was back and I was like, no, I need to rest a bit, you know, I went to phone.
Yeah.
You got any water
But
going in there?
Yeah.
take this back home with you, okay? What you've been doing this today, yeah? The rest of the year has been a bit of a write-off, but today...
Stephen, I know that great
It's like, feels like it's just like peel the skin off.
All out there, mate.
But your gate didn't go down, did it, Steve? It didn't drop. Well, it wasn't going to go. So did you have to pull out and go around it? Well, no,
I hit it.
And when he pulled back, it went?
No, done it well, yeah, after I smashed it.
So frustrating. But it was...
They got it on video.
It won't make any difference.
They ain't going to do nothing. If it was toneless, they'd have done something, but...
What a bastard, hard lines, mate. Good race, though.
Okay. Hey, talking to Gary. Yeah, I'll just go get changed.
Cheers.
He started about 19th, he's working his way up now to 14th. Hopefully there's quite a big gap between the next sort of lot of people in front of him, so we'll have to see. Hopefully a dig deep.
If I'm not happy with the way I rode, you know, I will be pretty down on myself, really. And maybe it is a little bit of my downfall. Maybe I sort of got to give myself a little bit of a break like today. You know, I shouldn't really have expected myself to be right up there. But in the back of your mind, you always still want to be up there, you know? Like, you know how you can ride, and when you can't quite do it like that, it is a little bit frustrating, you know? And once I sat down for a good sort of 10 minutes and sort of thought it through and had a few words and stuff with Rob, then he kind of put it in perspective for me, and you know, I was all right after that. So yeah, just try not to be too hard on myself, I guess.
Yeah, it's the first running of the Ironman Extreme Enduro. It's been a lot of years in the planning. I've done a lot of extreme enduros over the years. I've done Red Bull, Last Man Standing, Erzberg, Hell's Gate, I'm a previous winner, and the Tough One in the UK. I've wanted to run an extreme event for a long time. Myself and my wife Sonia have been planning it for a long time, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. We've now got an established hare and hounds business that's running quite well, and we thought we'd take ourselves out of our comfort zone and run a real serious extreme event. So that's the reason for us being here today at Harwood in North Yorkshire. Well, it's quite good at this event because we've got a regular hare and hound event running as a qualifying race this morning. In the interval, we've got a trials race, and then the main Ironman Extreme race is this afternoon. And basically what we're doing from the qualifier is to try to find the top 50 riders that are up to taking on a serious event. The hare and hounds part of it keeps the club guys involved so they can enjoy that, and then they can watch afterwards if they don't qualify. But it's basically to try and just find out who is serious and who's up for challenging the Ironman Extreme. It's going to be tough, without doubt. I mean, you guys are going to get footage of the hard sections. There's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. Riders are going to have to negotiate rock sections. We've got skips, we've got tyres, as well as the natural terrain. I mean, we've got some big gullies over the backside that you'll be looking down on the riders. They're 15 feet underground approximately. And it's going to be a real spectacle. It's going to be tough. It's going to test riders to the absolute max. It's going to be difficult. It's going to test the mettle. We've got top motocross guys that are coming. Jake Nichols from Jackie Martin's KTM team's here testing it. We've got Johnny Walker, who's an established extreme star. I'm riding myself. So we've got a good mix of all riders, and it's just going to be a great spectacle for everybody that's involved. Yeah, I had a disastrous start. I was dead last away, so I just waited. I thought, the top 20 riders are going to qualify anyway. I thought I'll just keep picking riders off. And I got into quite a good rhythm. Once the greasy layer had come off the top, we got down to some dry and it's grippy. So I just went picking riders off, just tried to get in a smooth rhythm, and it worked quite well. I got back to second. Johnny Walker's won. We expected him to win the qualifier, but I'm really pleased to be second and just building up a bit of confidence. It's the first time I've ridden the KTM 250 EX here, and yeah, it's good. It's a real easy bike to ride, and it's making it easier for an old guy like me.
Yeah, I got the whole shot off the start, and then I went fast on the first lap to try and get a good steady lead, and then just cruise really from there. I didn't push too hard, just to save my bike for the next race, obviously. Yeah, it was good. It was slippy, like real slippy, but I've got my old tyres on now, saving my good ones for the next race. So apart from it being slippy, it was good. The rivers were, all the rocks were like, they'd gone black with the tyres rubbing on them. So it was real slippy. Like.
This is the extreme part. It is going to be tough. I don't want to see any riders getting downhearted. I know you're all ready for a tough event. It's time to get stuck in now. This is where it all starts to happen. Do try and keep going. If you can complete the 2 hours, it's a major, major bonus for anybody. The only other thing is, in the pit area, you have to fuel yourselves and you have to work on your own bikes. There is no assistance in the pits this afternoon. That was in the programme and we're going to stick to that. So it's the same for everybody. If we find there's a section on the course where riders are stuck, by all means help the guy in front, get him to help you. That's fine, no problem.